So beautiful.
Okay, there we go, Monique. We are live.
So I have a wonderful guest with me today, all the way from South Africa. I have a big calling in my heart to tell this or let the stories of the unheard heroes, the unseen heroes, tell us about their journey, what they've gone through in life, and what they've discovered. Ultimately, we all have a purpose in life. And Monique Strydom is one of those people. Monique Strydom is a very unique individual where she's gone through a outrageous I don't know what to call it, Monique. It's just one of the what do you call this? What do you call it, being kidnapped by rebels? The Abu Sayyaf. Well, what is that? Because I want to say it's hell. However, I'm talking to you. What's the one word for that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's like lockdown with a virus for some people, you know. Maybe it's similar. It's a Hollywood movie, actually. That's absolutely what it is.
Yeah, because it's almost frightening, because all of us we've watched or we've seen movies or TV shows about, because I did see a TV show, by the way, and I actually remember I saw it quite a while ago. I wasn't a recent, and you know, because we don't have TV at home. However, when we do have TV, Monique, literally I am going to either, you know, home improvement shows, fix and flip shows about real estate, or educational programs. I do not watch anything else on TV. It's a complete, as I call it, mindless entertainment. Now, movies are different, because the reason I like movies, which I like about your story, Monique, is that it takes me on a journey. It takes me to another realm where I'm almost disconnected from society or my own life here on earth, the issues that I go through. So when I can enjoy somebody else's journey, well, yours was a hardship. However, it ended up, you know, beautiful, not fairy tale, but a beautiful cause and a purpose. Monique.
That's right. You know what? I think it's a path. You don't always choose the path you want to walk or have to walk, but you can choose to make the best of that path. You know, so I think it's where we're sitting today as well. We're not choosing to be in lockdown in South Africa, but we're making the best of what we've got.
Right, absolutely. I want to go back in time with you, Monique, because I really want the audience to understand what it was like in today's world compared to what you went through back then. Quickly, this is a 3-part process. I want to hear about Matla A Bana. Hopefully I said
Matla A Bana, yeah.
Thank you very much, thank you. Praat nog 'n bietjie Afrikaans. Ek kan Afrikaans verstaan, maar om te praat is baie not moeilijk, right?
Moeilijk.
Okay, thank you. Then I want to go into the part 2 of where you are today with your cause. How you got there is what I meant, your story, you know, what got you there. And then let's go back to Matla A Bana. Let's end with that, and because that's how we can support you, that's how we can reach out to you, and that's how we can really endorse your cause and make a difference. Because let's go back in time. You know, you've started this cause, Matla A Bana. What is that in a brief kind of elevated pitch?
So Matla A Bana is actually not Afrikaans. It's the Sesotho for power of the children, or power to the children. And it's a non-profit organization I started, you know, when I was kidnapped. I've always had a heart for charity, but I really got called. God put that calling in my heart and said, you'll come back and you'll come back and help the people of South Africa. And 2 years later, the calling was really strong to help children who've been raped in South Africa. And we have extremely high rape figures, especially of children, and very young children. And there was a need for an organization to help children when they report the crimes. And I answered, and that our charity is 18 years old. Our projects help approximately 30,000 children every year who report crimes. We have a school program where we reach out into schools. And of course, we have an agreement with the South African Police Services. So we work together with them in order to see how we can minimize sexual abuse, especially rape, because it's really a huge problem in South Africa. You know, it's from babies, 6-month-old babies, to 85-year-old women who are being raped in this country. And it's so part of the norm and part of society. So, and we see the work that the police do, and they do incredible work. We also have specialist units in South Africa who we support, and specialist courts as well. But it's overwhelming, and a lot of kids are not reporting. So we really don't know what the figure is in this country. We just know it's very, very high. And it's been an incredible journey. I mean, I'm an actress by profession. That's what I studied. I studied drama. And suddenly I'm sort of doing social work, and I know nothing of social work, but I have the heart and I have the passion and the calling, and we do our best with what we have.
Right, absolutely, Monique. It's a very tough subject to talk about, have a discussion about, debate about rape, because it's something we really actually want to ignore. Meanwhile, it's a big problem. It's not just a problem in Africa, it's a global problem. And why is it that we're scared to talk about it, Monique? Why is it one of those subjects where there's the fear of just even the word rape? It just kind of spins, it spills shivers down your spine. And it really is an uncomfortable subject. I forgive me, Monique, I'm just saying, it's nothing that I've experienced, and I never want to experience that or know anyone that's experienced that, because it's just too devastating for me. But why do we ignore it?
You know what? I think it's because it's very close to home. And what we always say, and what we've started doing if we speak to corporations or we go to big companies, is I always ask people, how many of you can tell me if you've been raped yourself, or you know somebody who's been raped? And people are getting braver. I mean, we can see more and more hands going up. So for a very long time, it was something that had to be hushed up, because the uncle did it and the grandfather did it, and so many kids were involved in a whole family that was affected by that. And I can tell you now, you can speak to each and every family and there will be a story somewhere. So it's the stigma, because many years we said, oh, you can't do that because he's a man of social standing. Or when kids report, the mother says, no, it's impossible. I can't believe that your daddy will do something like that. So it's just, I think it's a natural response to an unnatural situation. So people rather will deny it than say, but it's happening in my house, and it's been hidden for so many years, and it's been going on for thousands of years, and it's getting people to report. And the reporting process, nowhere in the world it's easy to go and report for a child that her daddy raped her. And it's a difficult process to go in our country, specifically the court process. I mean, you're not guilty until found guilty. So often, and in our country, the kid has to stand in court. They have to testify in court. So it's a very traumatic experience. And many mothers say, I won't report it because I don't want to put my child through that.
Right.
And of course, then you sit with internet. I mean, they've said now, they've seen how the child pornography sites have gone up, and the views on those sites now in Europe, for instance, with the lockdown. So it says it's every.
Monique, that doesn't make any logical sense at all. Here we are as a global civilization, protecting ourselves, isolating ourselves. Our leaders are doing the best they can to keep us sustainable and alive, and yet there's still this garbage out there, and there's still these women that they're such cowards. They've lowered themselves to such poor levels of civilization that they don't even deserve to live, Monique. That's my personal opinion. They don't deserve to live.
Yeah, it's actually sick, because what's happening now is a lot of kids are actually homeschooling now. And I don't know if it's the same in the States, but it's in South Africa. And there's huge concerns about these perpetrators using the internet and the World Wide Web more and more to get to children and to get access to children. Now that kids are home, they're much more vulnerable. And these guys are so clever. I mean, they use chat rooms in games to get to children.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's scary stuff. And you're absolutely right. That is a virus, and it's killing children. It's killing their spirits and their souls, and I think the infection, if we really know what's going on, is much worse than the current infection we're seeing.
Right, absolutely. I think, Monique, you're right. Is there an injection? Is there a pill? Is there a muti that we can give these sick individuals, these horrible, despicable human beings, that to not act out these atrocious feelings or emotions that they have, Monique?
If there was, I wouldn't be doing my job that I'm doing right now.
Got it.
You know what? People often say castrate them, especially the child rapists. But
yeah,
absolutely. It's a brain thing. You know, people start watching. It's an addiction. People start watching normal porn, and then it's that dopamine release, and then they can't get enough, and then they get bored after that, and then they go into heavier porn, and then they don't get satisfied with that anymore, and then they go into child pornography, and they go into producing of child pornography. So it's an addiction, and it's something that's got the chemical. It's where it goes wrong with the brain.
It's like having once, not that I smoke, I've rarely smoked in my life besides my party days, but it's like taking a cigarette. You have one puff just to kind of be cool. Then the next party you have 2 puffs, and eventually you smoke a whole cigarette. Then eventually you smoke a whole pack. I see what you're saying. That's very, very sad. It's very sad that it gets to that point, Monique. Okay, so you on a daily basis have massive challenges in your life, Monique, that not many people share. And I'm sorry to say that. It's a very hard fact to stomach. Let's go to how this isn't a manifestation. This is you went through something so traumatic in your life at such a young age that propelled you into this world from going on a honeymoon. It was a vacation, right? It was a vacation.
No, it was a vacation. We were already married for a long time. It was actually the vacation before we started with the family.
Wow. Wow. And so you go to the Philippines. You're having the time of your life, because literally, I know, because I have many friends that have traveled and come from the Philippines. I've done business with people in the Philippines. It's an amazing country. There's some of the most incredible people come from the Philippines that I know here in Southern California. Just beautiful human beings. Actually, a lot of them are nurses here in Southern California. They get into the medical field. You go on this wonderful vacation thinking you'll have the time of your life. Instead, take me through that process of you on the beach and just that chaos and that crack in your universe when these rebels come storm the beach and kidnap you.
Yeah. Well, actually, we weren't in the Philippines. We actually were in Malaysia.
No, sorry, so Malaysia.
We didn't. We were taken to the Philippines, however.
Oh, so okay. Got it, Monique.
Yeah, we went on a scuba diving holiday on a very beautiful island called Sipadan, which is on the north side of Borneo. So we didn't even know the Philippines were close. You know, you just book your holiday and you go. And it was actually the second day. So yes, that was a fantastic holiday because we got 2 countries for the price of 1, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was the Sunday evening, it was Easter Sunday, and we just finished with dinner. And these guys, they came out of nowhere, out of the darkness. They stormed our resort. There was about 18 of them. They were really heavily armed. They couldn't speak English. And they just herded us all together. And you know what the interesting fact is? We had 4 American people with us, 4 Americans. And I think, because we spent so little time with him, but I think the one was the son of a senator. I'm not quite sure, but he had a father high up in politics. So they actually invited us to go and do the night dive with them that evening. And we said, we're not going because we just had a drink. And we were actually watching them swimming away towards the reef when these people stormed in. And then we had another American couple with us. And when they took us down to the boats, because they took us down to the beach, and remember, it was now dark, they put us on boats. And then the lady started screaming, I can't swim, I can't swim.
Right.
And then one wanted to shoot her, but obviously they couldn't shoot because they couldn't make a noise. And then they left the last two Americans behind. And then we left, and it's only later, because that night on the boat, because we traveled quite far, they're not sure what route we took, but it was about 300 to 500 kilometers across open ocean.
Wow.
Little wooden boats.
Wow.
And, you know, that night they would say to us, Americans, Americans. And we said, no, there were French people. They took 21 of us.
Yeah.
French people, and they were Germans, and they got to us and we said Africans, and they said, no, but you're not black. They couldn't understand that one. But
what
in the end,
what primitive human beings, hey? They want to run a country, they want to storm and take over a country, but they don't even have any culture or history or understanding at all about civilization.
Yeah, but I think what we discovered later on is they were supposed to go to an upmarket resort, which is very well known for American visitors and tourists. And somewhere on that trip, they got lost and they ended up at our island. And what actually happened was
So Monique, they couldn't even do that right. That's how ignorant they are, or stupid.
Yeah.
Because you can fix ignorant. Ignorance you can fix. Stupid lasts forever.
Yeah, well, maybe it was meant to be like that. I wouldn't know.
I think Monique.
But you see, the wonderful thing was the very first demand they made was for the release of the two bombers, or the guys who wanted to bomb the World Trade Center, who was in prison in America. And obviously then they realized they had no American hostages, but somehow all four Americans stayed behind. And we were quite upset about that, because we said, wow, if we had Americans, you know, we would be rescued and everything. But it wasn't really the case. They had Americans the year after that, and they beheaded the first American within the first month. And the wife and the husband was kept for a year. And in the end, he was killed and she survived. But so for us, you know, they went to the wrong island, but there was some grace in the fact that they didn't take Americans, because it just would have changed the dynamics. You know, it would have given them something to bargain with. And suddenly they had very little to bargain with, because they had all these other nationalities and no interest in, you know, they had nothing to swap. For instance, there was no terrorists in South Africa that they could swap us for.
I'm sorry I laugh, because it's just interesting that the mindset is, it's so primitive. It's actually quite disappointing. It's quite despicable. Monique, I know that America, I forget this, I learned this years ago, but I know there's like 10 things America has, or that a country has to have to like be top tier. So so this to go back to that lesson I learned. So if an American is abandoned or kidnapped or stuck in another country, America is the only country. It's the only country in the world that will send actually their army in to fetch an American out. So like one American is all Americans. It's kind of the philosophy, but they've got these 10 rules. I think like England has 8 or whatever it may be, but not even as good as America. So that's why there's always this challenge that we have, because these small-minded people, they know that there will be this fight for that one American or those two Americans. At the end of the day, yes, he lost his life, her husband, and the other guy got beheaded, which is very, very sad. But I do know that America will actually send the army in to get you. Now, things might have changed, but that's what I'm telling you, is I know that's what Americans do, is they will send the army to get that one American. I know me and my wife have been stuck in a country before, and they did bring us back to America. We went to the embassy and they put us on a plane and brought us back. Thank God, Monique. And I'll share that one day. I have many stories myself, because I put myself in those positions. So, but I've also had to get myself out of them. And I have a very amazing wife who's American. I actually experienced it firsthand. So Monique, you get kidnapped. I'm having a hard time asking these questions, because there's questions I have, but I don't want to be inappropriate. I don't want to offend you, Monique.
You won't. Please feel free to ask anything you want to ask.
Monique, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me what was going through your mind being kidnapped? it can't be a good thing, or was your faith strong enough that you had hope? Please forgive me, because I know
That's fine.
scared out of my brackets to be around uncivilized human beings like that. I'd be actually quite offended, because I consider myself intellectual. Tell me where your mindset was at that time, Monique.
At what time? Because it
Wow.
was in different places at different times. You know, the thing is, when they initially stormed our resort, you go through that fight, flight, freeze mode where your life is at risk. And then you think, I just have to survive. And then you get to the other side and you see, oh, I'm still okay. You know, and you don't know who these people are. So a reporter once asked me, you know, where were you emotionally? And I said to you, know, we were everywhere, because every day you would go through 300 emotions, because nothing was the same every day. Although we sat in one camp for 2 months, there were days where we were attacked by the Philippine military. We had to run for our lives. There were days where reporters got to our camp and we saw them leave. There were days when we heard we were going to be released and we weren't released. So I afterwards said I should have studied French, because I had all these fantastic French people around me, but
Wow.
your brain can't operate. And I think people might have a similar experience now, especially in our country where the lockdown is very extreme, where people are really in their homes and people just and people
they're
can't
having
deal with
riots
it.
now. They're out on the streets with signs. The coronavirus is not real. It's a lie. I'm like, good God! And you live here in America and you're behaving that way. And you have no idea people are losing their lives. This is not a game. It's not a joke. Your ignorance is not helping us as a 21st century country.
Yeah,
this is in
but
America.
you know, I think the thing is, there's no script written for that, and that's what I always say to people: is there was no script written except in Hollywood for a kidnapping. So there's nothing to say you must respond like this or respond like that. And I think it's a bit the same with the virus. None of us ever thought that the world would lock down, there would be no air travel, that you would not be able to drive out and see your family. You know, we know that economies will collapse. So we've not been conditioned to deal with such challenges. So we are writing new scripts every day. So it's very difficult to say where you are, because I think people, if I speak to my friends, some of them were paralyzed, some of them were fighting, and one day they're upset and the other day they have hope. So I'm a naturally positive person and I am a survivor. You know, I'm a fighter. And there were days where I was really said, I've had enough. One day I walked out of the camp and they wanted to shoot me and I said I had enough. And my partner had to stop me. And there were other days where I just helped people. And there were other days where I was just lying in the hammock and I didn't want to speak to people. So it's just human. You know, we have to, sometimes you just have to pull back and let the body and the mind rest and just work through what's happening. And then other times creativity come out, and other time the fighting spirit comes out. So it's a process you can't describe, and it's an up and down, and it's something that makes you tired emotionally. And I think a lot of people will know what I'm talking about now, right at this time in their lives. But the important thing is, you know, you must just realize my body can only take so much, my mind can only take so much. You know, switch off the TV. I've done that for the last 2 days. I've just switched off my TV because it was just such an overload. And I just said, you know, it's just too much information. I know that I'm taking strain. So I'm very aware of where I am within my body, within my mind. So I know when to say, no, this is enough. You know, now I'm switching off. Now I'm going to do something else. So it's very important that we become self-aware of what's happening in our bodies and in our minds so that we can practice that self-regulation. Otherwise, we're just going to be so overwhelmed and it's going to become chaos. And, you know, that's where people go to suicide. They're just so overwhelmed. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. And they get to that point where they say, I can't live anymore. And
goodness,
this is my only option.
So Monique, you're in the it's not even the bush. It's a subterranean jungle. Exactly. Yeah. Which you're familiar with, but it's not your backyard. You're with your husband, so there's also that aspect as well. You're not alone. You have your partner with you. So there's also that survival instinct of being there for them as well. So you're right. There must have been, like you said, 300 emotional bouncing all over the day. Monique, what was I'll start with the good, and I'll ask you the bad. What was the worst thing that happened to you in this process of when you're kidnapped?
What was the worst thing? There were many bad things. I mean, there was really the days we were shot at and we were running for our lives. And it's very difficult to explain, because I think the thing is, when you think you're going to die, that's very bad. And then then you realize, okay, I'm not going to die today, but now I'm hungry. And then that becomes bad. And then I'm not, now I've gotten something to eat and now I'm filthy. And then that, it's like a pyramid of needs. But for me, the threat of being raped, that was really bad for me. And, I said, I'll fight. If they come for me, I will fight, and I will fight to the death.
Somebody's going to lose their life. It's not going to be you. Or if it is you, it's because you fought for your life.
It might be me, but I'll take a few with. Trust me.
Somebody's going to die today, with me or without me, but somebody's going to die. Yes, you definitely have a fighting spirit. Goodness me. Yeah, Monique. I'm actually having a hard time swallowing that. Please forgive me. I didn't. I'm having some emotions of my own. Monique, because I had a single mother, so I grew up. I loved my dad, but they divorced when I was 9, and my mother kept him out of our lives for a long time, which is very sad, because what she was dealing with. But my dad was my hero. A total South African, Johannes Francois de Toit, out in Basfontein. And I'm in Los Angeles, and living in Southern California. So that fear must have been dreadful, because I don't know what that's like, and I never want to experience that, or know anyone that had to experience that. Quickly, is molestation the same thing as rape, or are they two different categories?
Well, in South Africa, I think we have legal. I don't know what your law says. But in South Africa, if you penetrate any orifice with anything, it's rape. Wow. So that's our legal explanation of rape.
Okay, good. So now I want to go to the good part, because I want to end on a good note about all of this, Monique Strydom. And by the way, guys, I know this is a tough subject, but it's a real subject, and it's an important subject. It's actually, and I want to be honest with you, Monique, we do know people that have been affected by rape. So I want to be honest with you. I can't lie to you. I do, and I know many people actually that, especially in childhood, which is very sad. I know that I don't know what that's like, but I have seen the effect, the cause and the effect of that. Monique, what is not the cause? I want to get to that's the end of our set, but in the situation, what is the best thing that happened to you while you were kidnapped, being held hostage?
I was released.
Okay, but I know that part, but what I mean is, every day you're in this environment that's completely foreign to you. Was there any one thing that stuck out that, like, that was my best day, or that was the best thing that happened to me in that not being released means, I'm trying to go deeper. we all know those scenarios, but none of us have, a lot of us haven't experienced it. What was it, Monique?
Well, for me, it was a spiritual journey. So I actually wrote a book, but it's in Afrikaans. Let me, I have a copy here. So it's called Vrygekoop, which means I've been Vrygekoop, which means somebody paid my ransom. Yes. So, and that book is about the miracles, because I'm a Christian, and I believe things happen for a reason, and I knew there was a reason behind, and it was easy to forgive these people because I understand I saw the bigger picture. And for me, this whole book is about miracles and incredible things. I mean, I've got so many, it's a whole book full of stories that happened that just gave us hope, and how God talked to us. I mean, we got a Bible in the middle of the Islamic extremist group where we were held hostage, and it was an absolute miracle how we got the Bible. And it carried us through.
Money? How did you get that Bible? Because that
makes time.
that makes no sense at all. Because here you are. You're in I know the Islamic extremists. They're like die hard. you know, they want to be martyred every single day of their lives. Their parents will give them up to be martyrs. Do you know what I mean? How did you get a hold of a Bible of all things in a third world, maybe seventh world country? Because they're so primitive there. They're far past a third world country, Monique.
Well, there was a group from Manila, the Jesus Miracle Crusaders, and their leader who came in to pray for us. So they said, we'll come and pray and the hostages will be released. And then they brought Bibles with and pamphlets. And when they got there, the rebels actually took them hostage as well. And we met some of them one day at a camp, and I'm still Facebook friends with one of them. It was just incredible. But they took all the Bibles and all the pamphlets and they just burnt it. And we only saw them once or twice. They were kept in a separate camp. But one day, I think he didn't know what it was. He saw it was a book, one of the rebels, and he thought, okay, maybe these hostages can use this book. And they actually walked into the camp and they gave it into the hands of one of the atheists in the group. And it was very funny because he kept on. I said to him eventually, Stefan, you'll be released, you know, if you commit your life to Jesus Christ. But it became a joke, you know. And they gave the Bible to him. So it was very interesting. And then he said, no, he's going to give the Bible to us because he thinks we're going to use it more often than he's going to use it. And that's how we got the Bible. And we actually brought the Bible with. And when they came to visit, because he came to visit with his fiancée, Sonia was also with us, his fiancée at that stage, he got to South Africa and he said, you've got something of mine. And as he left, we actually gave him the Bible. So after 2 years, he got his Bible back, yes.
Did he find the creator of the universe? Did he find God?
I'm not sure. I'm not in touch with him anymore. I'm still in touch with his ex-fiancée, Sonia.
Oh, excellent. Okay, great. Excellent. So, Monique, I love that. So you knew God before that. You knew the creator of the universe before that. And that's fantastic. I'm just trying to get the lighting correct. Yeah. So, Monique, and I love how there's such an amazing, it goes to an atheist who has no idea who God is and believes in miracles or really has any faith in anything outside of his own existence or even who our God is, which is fantastic. So I'm a big believer in Yuda Harvey, by the way. So I'm there with you on that one. And I'm so grateful that actually happened because that didn't just happen. That was a master plan in another universe that it became reality in our dimension. And I understand that very, very well. I'm a big advocate of prayer, meditation, reading the word. So I've got a Jewish complete Bible. So I am very familiar and I'm very aware of many, many, many dimensions, not just the one we live in. I think that we are so, we do not understand how magnificent we are as human beings. We have no inclination of the gifts of of how like super special we are. We're not just human beings. We all have a purpose in life. We all have a country. We all have a destiny. And many, 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 I'm talking many, 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 many of us live our lives in oblivion.
Yeah.
They go to work, they come home, they watch TV. I remember, you know, when I first immigrated to America, I was 19 years old. I was 18, I turned 19 here. And I started going to college and I met all these cool Americans. It was so awesome. The big thing back then after school was to go to like a buddy's home, maybe have a couple of beers and watch MTV. Beavis and Butthead, music videos and drink beer. And I remember sitting in my buddy's house going, is this all we do? I came to this great, amazing country and all we're going to do, Monique, is drink beer and watch MTV. It was so sad. So I started getting pissed off. I'm like, I didn't come here to do this. So I had myself, but I'll go down to the beach myself. You know what happened, Monique? My buddy started following me. So it would take me some hours to get us to go down to the beach for an hour, 2 or 3 of surfing, but just to get out of that realm of boredom or mindless entertainment, I had to myself physically remove myself from that situation because I was going nowhere fast. And you had to go through a everyone has life-changing experiences, but you went through a traumatic, I want to say, crack in your universe to find your cause where you are today. Forgive me the word Matla A Bana, where God had to use you in a situation which I don't wish on anybody, because I think it ends bad for a lot of people most of the time. For you, not because you're an actress and not because this is a Hollywood premiere movie that is in the making, in a sense. That's how I see this, your story, Monique. But you were used in a way that God had to really snap you into who you are today. You know, he had to, and please forgive me, I didn't experience what you went through. I'm seeing the good out of what happened to you. And then God, it didn't become worse than that, because I'm sure a lot of people, you know, through being kidnapped and either made or broke them. You know, some people can come out really messed up and be in psychology for the rest of their lives. And I have nothing wrong with psychology. I see a psychologist often, even in my marriage, even when I was a child. My mother couldn't understand me, so she sent me to psychologists to tell her how to handle me. So I'm very used to psychologists my whole life. And I'm for them. I'm not against them. I'm for psychologists. Trust me. They've helped me in my life tremendously, and they still do. And I still go to them, by the way, Monique. I used to.
It's a good thing.
Thank you. I thank you. I used to think I wouldn't tell anybody, because there's this, oh, you don't need that. When I'm going, actually, maybe you need it, but it is a good thing. And guess what? Now I'm an advocate. Now I've got a voice now about, and I've had amazing psychologists that have really helped me map my mind, understand my emotions, control many aspects of my life. So you had to go through something very disturbing. And then one day you woke up and it all changed. And I think that's when the exit also started happening for you. Once God, forgive me, I can't speak for you, but I'm kind of painting a picture here, Monique. Once the creator of the universe, Yura Harvey, realized that you were ready, he either through spontaneous thought or through revelation or through dreams, he spoke to you. And most time it's through dreams, by the way, or you get that spontaneous thought, like, hey, you know, who was that? And
it was a dream, actually.
A dream, exactly.
That's right.
You woke up, and it was a game changer. To take us to that night, what happened that day, leading into the night, and the next day, please, Monique.
Yeah, it was actually right at the end of our captivity, and there was a lot of weeks speculation that we were going to be free, and we heard you going out, and then we weren't going out, and then we were going out, and then we won't be released. So it was really a time where it was really difficult for us. And it was the Saturday, and we heard that the negotiations had ended. We had Libyan representatives who negotiated, but the Filipino called it off, the Filipino negotiator. And then they said they were going to withdraw, the Libyans, and we knew if they were to withdraw, that the Philippine military would attack us. So it was quite a hectic day that day. And I had a little notebook that I got from somewhere, and I had 2 pages left. And I decided that day that I was, if I was to die, it's okay. I'm okay with dying, but I wanted to say goodbye to my family. So I wrote my whole testament on that note, and I thought if they get my body, they'll get my testament. And then that evening, and I was quite down that day, and that evening I had a dream, and God spoke to me. I heard his voice clearly, and he said to me, you are going to be released, and you are going back to South Africa, and you're going to help people in South Africa. Now, I just want to say that I've had a charitable heart all my life. I worked as a fundraiser for a charity once, but I said I'll never do that job again because it's the most difficult job in the world to do. And I woke up the next morning and I was a changed person, and I wrote a business plan because I had a media agency at that stage. I wrote a business plan for a charity, and I said, I'm going to send this to my partner, and we're going to start this charity. And, at that stage, there was no talk of release. I mean, we were not going home. Well, that was what was coming through to us. And at 2:00, and I said to Callie, my husband at that stage, I said to him, you know what, and now I can be released, because now I know why I had to be here. And that was 4 months into the kidnapping. And it was day 127. And that day, at about 2:00 that afternoon, this group of rebels walked in, and they stood there and they said, "You're free." And I was released.
Group or the group, the kidnappers, they came in, or another group of rebels?
No. This was, they used emissaries to negotiate. So they had their own emissaries, and then they would negotiate with negotiators outside of the jungle. So it was these emissaries that actually walked in and said, "You're free, you're being released." And I was taken and I was put in a vehicle with my other female friends. Most of them are my friends now. And we were driven out and flown out, and I was released. So the moment I heard God's voice, and I did a prayer session this morning, and I said to people, you must understand your time is not God's time. And we don't understand our time, but God understands where we need to be and what needs to happen. So we must make peace with the fact, if we say he's in charge of our lives or we believe in him, we must understand that he knows what's the best for us. And he protected us through all that time. As I said, I've got incredible stories in my book, and miracles, because he had a bigger plan with us. And I wouldn't like to choose walking this road again, but it's really put me on my destiny. I came back, I was famous in South Africa, doors opened up for me. I could use all the opportunities. I'm a PR person, so obviously I used the PR, and I used it to start helping people. So I've actually closed down my business. I do motivational speaking, and I run the charity, and it's really just been made possible through what happened to me. And it's that thing of, you go through something bad, but what are you going to do? You can't change what's happening to you, but what are you going to do with that? That's your choice.
And that's actually how I got a hold of you. I know some very prominent, I can call them prominent, because these are people that are influencers and they game changers and they're making things happen. That's how I heard of you. They said, "Oh, you've got to interview this lady Monique Strydom in South Africa." I'm like, okay. "Oh, you got to hear her story. It's amazing." So yes, Monique, you are right. Actually, I just got goosebumps. I don't know if you can see them. That just shows the impact you're having even in my life and in the audience life. Monique, is your book translated into English?
No, it's unfortunately not. We're working on that. We spoke to somebody in America to see if they would publish it in America. So we're in the process. The charity published the book. With every book we sell, we actually buy an emergency comfort pack for a child. So we were working on a charity budget, and hopefully if we sell, we've sold quite a lot South African standards. So the plan is to have it translated and see if we can publish it internationally.
Okay, I'm going to connect you with a publisher here in the States. I'm just going to connect you, have a chat to her and her company and see what she can do for you. I can't promise you anything, but at the same time, it's the most important thing, Monique, is just build a relationship. You never know. It might not be with her, but I never ever leave without my hands empty. I always take away something with me. So if it doesn't work with her, ask her who she might know that can help you as well. So I always do that, Monique. I never just, at the end of this conversation, I'll ask you who you might know that I could interview for this broadcast.
That's right.
Absolutely, Monique. This is business and this is smart. Well, for me, it's a business.
Okay, so if you are doing business, maybe I can give my website as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. And also, what I want to do, Monique, also show me your book. Let me just go. Yeah, show me your book, please. Hold on one second, Monique. I'm gonna go to the web now. Boom, boom, boom. Nope, I don't want to end. Let's go over here. Okay, Monique, go ahead. Give me some direction here. First of all, because I love your cause, what's the website, or where can I find Matla A Bana?
Yeah, so it's www, and it's Matla, M-A-T-L-A, and then A, B-A-N-A, .co.za.
There it is. Beautiful. So this is Monique Strydom's charity organization, her cause. This is, wow, helping 30,000 children every year. So Monique, you need a lot of help. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
you need a lot of help.
Always.
I love that you're a motivational speaker, and your book. What's important is, Monique, if I can give you my 2 billion cents worth, is get that book into English, because Americans are the most amazing people in the world, like everybody else.
I know. I have many American friends.
Yeah,
I was supposed to be in Atlanta last month.
Oh, shame. what I do know about, look at, I love this picture of you and Nelson Mandela. And I'm not envious. I'm actually happy, but I wish I had that picture of me and him, because he's just one of those people. He's like Sol Kersner. They make such a big impact in our lives. You know, you can't get that anymore. That's you have a moment there. You have something that's so special, Monique. I mean, you can't even buy that today. A chance to meet Nelson Mandela. So there's Facebook. Follow Matla A Bana on Facebook. Oh, there's even cycling tours. Here's a donation.
Yeah, that just finished.
Wow, this is wonderful. I'm gonna have all of this in the description box below of this live broadcast with Monique Strydom. This is something that is powerful. This is something that I fully endorse, and I will share this as I want this to go so viral, Monique, that 100,000 people hit your site.
That'll be fantastic.
And I'm saying that I want to speak it into existence. And also, let me go to the Facebook. What I love is I can just go over to Facebook. Where's it over here? Let's go here. This is how I reached out to you, Monique. I got a hold of your organization in South Africa through Facebook messaging, and that's this is how I was able to get a hold of you. And then you guys will be contacting you. So it's so interesting how words spread so fast. I'm like, I'm so excited to be talking to you. I hear that you work with Monique Strydom, or she works with you. And there's, oh no, we heard about you. She's expecting you to contact her. So thank you for the blessing.
Yes, and if you want me to come and do a talk, I'm a very strong swimmer. So I'm in Cape Town. I can easily swim across to Miami.
Right, absolutely. Wow.
That's our school program.
You're making such a difference. Unbelievable, Monique. That's just beautiful. Monique, I also want to take you to Monique's Facebook, because this is how I reached out to Monique, and then also she sent me her email and her contact details. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. I'm gonna like this. Oops, sorry, hold on. You didn't see that, Monique. That's a quick little cheat here. You know, that's Monique, beautiful. Okay,
and if you page up, if you go to my profile photo, you will see that was in Atlanta at Louis Giglio's church. I was there 2 years ago with my friend Liz. Not that one, the other one, the big photo.
Oh, okay, your cover shot, okay.
My cover shot, that one.
Oh, that's divine. That's
in beautiful. Atlanta, Louis Giglio's church, December 2 years ago. So it was absolutely amazing.
That's beautiful.
And that's my friend Liz, who lives in Atlanta and works for CDC.
Excellent. And you didn't see that like either. I'm totally taking you. Oops. Oh, sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. I've got so many windows open here. Forgive me. Okay, fantastic. So Monique, thank you very much. Monique, if you guys want to reach out to Monique, please Facebook message her or go to her charity organization that she supports and endorses, Matla A Bana. How do you say that again, Monique?
Well, I say it like this, the white people do, Matla A Bana, but obviously if you speak Sesotho, you say it in a different way, but I haven't managed that as well. So it's like de Toit and de Toit, you know?
I love it. We're one global culture or civilization. Monique, let's quickly go into Matla A Bana. If I endorse and support you, or the audience does, and I do, my declarations, I hope I can at least attract 100,000 people to your website. I'm saying that because I believe that I want that to happen. What's you know, once we donate and we support the cause, what does that do to the 30,000 people that you're helping every year, or trying to help and get to and assist? What's the benefit there, Monique?
Well, you know what, the thing is, we have very low administration costs. So we all work as volunteers, or I have contract workers. We all, we don't even have offices. We work within the police stations and at the units. So, you know, if I say to you, I'm going to do an emergency comfort pack, it's going to go to a child rape victim. We hand that pack over to the child protection unit, and it goes straight to that victim when that child reports. And the need is so great. I mean, we can't even look after the need right now. There's huge hunger, and we are actually making, if you looked on my Facebook page, we've been making in the lockdown food parcels for rape victims. which the police have been collecting from us this last week. Yeah, if you go to the Matla A Bana Facebook page, there's one of a detective who collected beanies that somebody knitted for us. So right now we're looking at, we're saying that children are so traumatized, they're not getting to courts, they can't testify, that's one of our child protection officers there in these cities. And those are the emergency packs we do, or the comfort packs we do, and it's got specific goods in. And they give it to the child when the child report that first rape, because in South Africa, it can take up to 12 hours to report the crime, you know, to go to a hospital, to go for the treatment. So, you know, just those packs, we don't have enough money to supply those packs where we want to supply. Right. But we try, and that was the food parcels we handed over to the police. Those are also to police detectives in their civilian clothes, because our police detectives at that unit don't work in uniform. Yeah, so people can know that it's really going to where it's needed, and it is desperately needed.
And what made you think? What made you think of giving a pack like this, a care package? What was it? How did that come to fruition, Monique?
You know, what happened was that, as I said, the process, somebody told us that the process is so long. And you can show that. We had that on auction. Somebody donated that. Our auction just finished.
Champagne, beautiful.
Somebody said, one of the doctors said to us, it's such a long process sometimes to report, because sometimes it's in rural areas and people have to walk far, and you know, they have to sit at hospital for 12 hours because we don't always have the emergency rooms there in other places. And the kids, they don't have anything to eat. So the police officers will buy food for them and the families whilst the process is ongoing. Yeah. So we said, let's make a basic pack, something to eat, something to drink, you know, a teddy bear, a coloring book, panties, because often they take the underwear, a face cloth, some soap. It's just such basic items. But what happens in that first hours of trauma, that's really where we're working. It can change the outcome of the case. If that kid is handed that parcel and she gets something to eat, and she sees this as a detective, and that's what we're finding is happening now. When they give the parcel, and most of them are men, immediately there's that trust relationship, and kids start disclosing much quicker. So that wasn't our initial aim. That was sort of a fantastic benefit of the
absolutely. The comfort, absolutely, and rightfully so, Monique. They need comfort. So what's it going to take? What is it going to take, Monique, to soothe the pains of these poor children that have been so traumatized? I love it, absolutely, Monique. I don't have much time going here. Anybody that's watched this episode, I commend you, because it was difficult. It was somewhat difficult for me. I do believe that Monique has a powerful, powerful story. I do believe it should be a motion picture. I do believe that there should be documentary. There should be more awareness created around this cause, not only for Matla A Bana, which Monique endorses and supports, but for many causes in this realm of supporting our children, Monique, that have been usually affected by other men, other despicable human beings that have, you know, try to ruin these beautiful lives. And I have no comfort and support for them at all. I do not, Monique. And I do not support them at all. And I will stand by that. That is my choice. I stand for the children, and I do not stand for, I'm there for the victim. So I have all of Monique's description in the details below. I also want to take them to your website, Monique, because that's how I got to really know a lot more about you. Take me there, Monique, to your website.
It's just moniquestrydom.com. Or straydomtrust.com. It goes to it goes to the same place.
Actually, I loved your website, Monique, because it was very, first of all, I loved your font. This kind of, I love the font, fantastic. Sorry, you know, I saw your book over here. I did want to get the book, but I saw it was in Afrikaans. So I think you're missing out on a big audience there, Monique. I'll give you my Marty. I'll give you her contact details.
Or maybe somebody can sponsor the translation for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Where's Callie today? Where is he, Monique? What, you know, you went through this life-changing chapter with him, and he's no longer your husband. Am I correct?
That's right. Yeah, we got divorced 4 years ago.
I mean, so you stayed together for a long time. That's also traumatizing, Monique, because this is somebody that, you don't experience that with anybody else. What happened there, Monique?
Life happened and
Oh,
midlife
wow.
crisis happened. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what I do say to people, divorce is not a good thing. It is a hectic experience. And for me, it was worse than the jungle, because the people in the jungle were people I didn't know. And suddenly the person who was threatening my life and my happiness was the person I spent 33 years with. So
Yeah.
it was very hectic, and our son is now 18, and he was very traumatized because of all of this. But it's what I say to people is sometimes you can't control things people do. It's just out of your control. But and if you can't control that, or if you can't change people's behavior, and if you can't do that, you've just got to challenge yourself to change. There's nothing you can do about the situation.
Right.
So it's been a hectic journey, the divorce journey, and I think it's taken me up till now. I think during this time I've really realized that I'm okay and that I've worked through it. And but it was somebody who was part of your life, and especially with
33
what
years,
we
that's
went
a
through.
lifetime. That's a lifetime.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime.
3 years, and the 4 months in the jungle, which we
Oh my God.
survived,
Yeah.
and we were so close to each other. But yeah, it's really that life happens, and sometimes you just don't have control over what's happening to you, and other people are controlling the situation, and you just you can't sit and cry. That you need to do as well,
Right.
but you have to pick up the pieces somewhere and
Monique,
continue.
you've been through many chapters, many hard chapters. I'm surprised you're still smiling and optimistic and happy and positive. There's a book I read many years ago called The Tough-Minded Optimist by Norman Vincent Peale. He's not with us anymore. You remind me of that. You remind me of the power.
I know Norman Vincent Peale.
Yeah, you have the power of positive thinking. You have the Tough-Minded Optimist. All of those books combined and many, many more. Monique, thank you for your precious, precious time. You're a wonderfully unique, incredible human being. I wish we had many. Well, I know we have many, many more like you. I just wish I knew many, many more like you. I believe I will. That's why I have this broadcast channel. If you know anybody that has a story that they want to share, reach out to me. I do a broadcast a day, and it goes live within 24 hours, or at that moment, like it is. It's actually live right now. I'll show you right now. Let me introduce you to Monique Strydom. Yes, she is over here. So right now, the world is seeing us and hearing your story, Monique, and the difference you're making. You're a absolute darling. Thank you for your time. I mean that sincerely. And I look forward to working, collaborating, sharing, maybe if I know of any opportunities to bring you to America or any. I know a lot of people in the industry in Hollywood. I was there for 16 years. You never know. You never know. No promises. I don't have a crystal ball, Monique.
No, but thank you very much for the opportunity and for allowing me to share and make this appeal. Yeah, it's what's fantastic getting to know you, Meneer de Toit.
Yes, thank you. My dad would love that. My dad was a rechter well, actually he wasn't. He was an incredible human being, but let me tell you what, he was my hero because he adopted me. So to me, he made a difference. So I thank God I wasn't left in a trash can. Thank God I wasn't an abortion baby. Thank God I was given life and given a choice and given the opportunity to be me, because I believe I'm making a massive difference, and I have in many ways, Monique. I have an amazing real estate business. I have incredible clients, from buying a $500,000 home to several $1 million homes. I mean, so I'm one of those prime examples that I didn't end up on an abortion table. I actually ended up contributing to society and spreading the message of hope and faith and believing in people like yourself that are making such big differences. And I'm so glad you're with us on this earth and this planet, Monique. Even though you've gone through a lot, which is sad and traumatic, I'm so happy, and it's such a blessing to hear you making such a massive difference. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I think even if we just do the little bit we can do, we can make a huge difference. So that's my challenge to everyone watching. Just see if you can help one person and see how it just grows. It's that water that just grows into a huge wave. So
that's beautiful. That's the one thing that Monique has left us with, is become like water, become fluid. Be like a stream, and be more purposeful in your decision making and your emotions than just living day by day. I think this quarantine time is helping a lot of us realize that we're missing out on a lot in life.
Yeah, that's very true. So it's I say there's a lot of benefit coming out of this, because I think people are coming to a standstill and people are reevaluating their lives, and they're looking at the things we've actually built our lives on and found our strengths on, and suddenly all of that's disappearing, and suddenly you've got to go to who you are and what you believe in, and that's an incredible journey. One day we're going to look back and say, wow, I'm so glad that happened, because whatever happened, it doesn't matter.
Excuse me.
It's going to be hectic now whilst you're standing in the storm,
right?
But you're going to look back one day and say, wow, this is what I did with it, and this is how I changed my life. And the choice is yours. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to use this to grow, or are you just going to let it run over you? And that's your choice. So if you
know what, I want to end it with this, is not to take away from the show, but I want to actually answer Monique's question. Like, what are you going to do during this time in quarantine? I'm so glad you asked, Monique. I'm going to take it as if you're actually speaking to me, but also to the audience. During this time of quarantine, for 3 weeks, I sat there going, this is not good. I knew that, excuse me, being under these circumstances was not good in many, many ways, but for me. So what am I going to do? Well, my 2020 goal was to become a motivational speaker, a self-help speaker, and self-mastery. I decided this in November, made the decision in December, before even New Year's. I always plan ahead, because you don't just come up with the spur of the moment, I'm going to do this next year. I really knew what I wanted. Let's become a motivational speaker. So guess what, Monique? I thought, well, I'm going to teach myself. I'm going to learn how to become a motivational speaker. I was gifted this idea of starting a broadcast channel called Legends, A Hero's Journey. So this, what we're talking about, you are, I forget actually what episode you're right now. I do an episode a day. Look over here, Monique. I want to quickly take you to, all of a sudden, I have so much going on in my, oh, there you are right there. I'll look at that, Monique. I'm sharing this.
I only see you.
Oh, sorry. Let me share this with you. I apologize. I'm thinking so far ahead here. So there you are. We're live. Over here, Monique. Let me go to my channel. So literally in 2 weeks, I have done many broadcasts, up to 10. I think you're what are you, Monique? Let me go. You're right. I'll tell you right now. You're number 12.
Please don't ask my age. That's all.
No, you're so amazing. You're number 12. I've already done my 14th recorded interview, which has been uploaded right now to YouTube. I've got many lined up into next week. So that was my takeaway from this quarantine, is what am I going to do? And what I did was I finally pulled the trigger. I finally went ahead, Monique, and I finally said, okay, what can I do? And what can I do while I'm here? Because I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. So luckily, we've got technology, and I just took advantage of that. And this is why I'm interviewing you today. And you're number 11, you're number 12. You're a very special number 12.
I wonder what the biblical meaning is of the number 12. I'll go and Google that.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to end it here. All of Monique's contact details in the description box below. Hey guys, please, if you're with us right now, you thoroughly enjoyed the show, please subscribe to the channel. And also, smash that bell because it'll keep you updated and give you notification whenever I do a broadcast. And also click the like button. It helps with analytics and it helps promote the channel virally. Monique Strydom, you're incredible. Thank you for your time, your efforts.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you for your story, Monique. I can graciously say I'm glad you experienced it. You can share with us because I don't know if I'd be the kind of man I am today if I had to go through something like that.
Thank you very much. No, it's our job to share and tell people because it was a second chance and it's a privilege to do that. And maybe some way we can plant in somebody's life and maybe they just needed to hear something today. And maybe that will change the outcome of the things they do and their lives, I hope, for the better.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Monique.